Sleets the third, aka Kareem Rahman, aka DJ L Trey, and you are now tuned into the Positive Network. I usually have a topic, and I might have one later, but right now I don't have a topic. But I did want to talk about some things. The number one thing I wanted to talk about was fucking karma. How much do you believe in karma? Maybe that is the topic. Who knows? But how much do you believe in karma? Because I'm a big time believer in that shit. A big time believer in karma. Which is why I completely changed how I was. I used to be a person that did fucked up things purposely. I say purposely because I'm pretty sure I still do fucked up things, and I'm pretty sure I still do. Not everybody gonna agree that I'm a great person, but there's a difference in the fucked up things I do these days and the fucked up things I did as a 20-year-old motherfucker. The fucked up things I did as a 20-year-old were most likely done purposely to be a piece of shit. You heard? Probably that was what I was going for at that time in my life, cause the piece of shit, bad boy guy, blase, blase, blah, was the cool guy, the guy that fucking the woman wanted. But now, I try to live my life with positivity. I try not to be a piece of shit. And those that know me and are holding on to negativity, they will say, yeah, he's faking like a motherfucker. I'm not faking like a motherfucker, dog. I have nothing but positivity to give out. You know what I mean? Because that's what I want to come back my way. I'm putting out what I hope comes back my way. Not everybody is living like this. You know? People live how they live. But I'm a heavy, heavy, heavy believer in karma. I try not to put that fucking energy out there. And I mean every fucking day. You hear me? Every day. There are hurdles out there trying to get you to be frustrated, aggravated, some kind of way they think that will make them feel better about themselves. They basically want to keep your mind in a constant state of aggravation. If your mind is in a constant state of aggravation, there's no way in hell you're going to accomplish any fucking thing. You're not going to accomplish shit. I I had some negative shit going on, and in my head, I said, man, motherfuckers doing negative shit to me. I'm gonna fight negativity with negativity. So here I go, going back and forth, doing things and trying to prove to motherfuckers that I don't know what I was trying to prove to motherfuckers. But this is my point. When you going back and forth with motherfuckers, you ain't gonna prove shit to nobody. Whatever a person thinks of you, if they think you're a dumb motherfucker, nothing you're gonna do is going to change that. Nothing. Whatever a person thinks about you, they gonna fucking think about you. It's not your job to make people think what they want about you. It's your job to handle your business. Go about your life. Make goals. Make long, impossible to reach goals. You can have some goals that you are going to reach along the way, but have this one goal way back here that's so impossible to reach, it seems, from where you're at right now. And you take little steps, and you take little steps, and you take little steps. Anything else is fucking irrelevant. Anything else is irrelevant. And I try to keep positive energy as I take this journey. Anything outside of what's bringing me toward my goal is fucking irrelevant. People, things, places, shit is irrelevant. The only thing that matters is me getting to my fucking goal. My goal is to be a New York Times best-selling author and a fucking with a B. Billionaire. Not millionaire. Billionaire. I'm not going to become a billionaire by selling books. I don't even think that. I got other shit going on, but that's my business. I got some other shit going on, but right now the books is my thing. But this is a man, karma, man. I don't even want to fuck with bad karma. I don't even want to think about me having bad karma because of some shit that I did to somebody. Some shit that I did to somebody being a piece of shit. And that's that teenage shit. Wanting to be the bad boy and you think you being the funny guy by being a piece of shit and everybody laughing with you. Everybody laughing with you, you think. Because when things go bad, all the way bad, all those people that was laughing with you and dick eating and all that bullshit, you're gonna be alone. When things go really fucking bad, you're gonna be alone. I tell you that shit. I only did 5 years in fucking prison, just 5. I may have had 2, maybe 3 motherfucking females that I was, you know what I mean, really in contact with on a regular basis like that. That shit ain't last for a whole fucking year. Out of sight, out of mind is some real goddamn shit. And I've seen married men. I don't know if everybody know or somebody know or if anybody in here at all. I don't fucking know. I'm not looking at it. But what I'm saying is that it's a thing called a Dear John letter. The Dear John letter is a letter that's sent to a person that's locked up by their significant other. And the Dear John letter usually has in it somewhere, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I tried, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I've seen married men getting Dear John letters. I've seen married men getting Dear John letters. Their wives is telling them, I'm not going to be able to stay with you. This is, a lot of time I saw this before motherfuckers was even sentenced. Wives and shit were writing them saying, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Before a motherfucker was even sentenced. Before a motherfucker was even sentenced. I want no parts of none of that shit. I mean, this is why I live the way that I live it. It's slow money, but I try to make it something with side hustles and shit. And I try to make it something by going out here and doing these deliveries, which some people use as a side hustle, but this right now is my main source of income. These deliveries. I'm doing GoPuff right now. This is my main source of income. The GoPuff joints. And there's somebody or some people out there who take my main source of income as a joke. And my main source of income, they're taking it upon themselves to make my shit harder than it really is, already is. And I bitched about it for a while. I said, man, why the fuck do people want to do this and do that and make shit harder for a motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? And I stopped bitching about it. You know what? I realized that karma will come. Karma may not come the way. And the fucked up thing about karma is that you may do something anonymously. Uh, like in jail, they say drop a kite on somebody. I mean, you may do something fucking anonymously and you don't think nobody knows. But there are some people who know what you did, and one of those people is that bitch. That karma bitch. She know that bitch know exactly what the fuck you did. You hide it from the rest of the world because you did this shit anonymously, or you did it online, or you did it where you think a motherfucker ain't gonna know. But that bitch was looking right over your shoulder when you did what the fuck you did. She wrote your name down. She wrote your motherfucking name down. And when it comes, man, it may not come the way that you did it, but this shouldn't be something that if you were a motherfucking who weren't a piece of shit, this wouldn't be something that you would have to worry about. The only motherfucker that got to worry about karma biting them in the ass is a motherfucker who's going out here to purposely be a piece of shit. I don't know how else to put it. And I don't want to call people pieces of shit. That's not cool. That's not nice. But I can't see how you have a job, right? You know how hard it is to make it with your pay. And you go out here and you work your ass off, you work your 8 hours a day, you work your 40 hours a week, and you expect to be paid what the fuck you paid. Here, what I'm dealing with at my job is me doing deliveries and people going out of their way to see that I'm not making money. And I won't get into the ways people are going out of their way to see that I'm not making money, but there are people who are taking it upon themselves to go out of their way to try to prevent me from making any money. I go to work, just like you do your 8 hours at your job and you're looking for your pay at the end of the day, at the end of the week. When I go out there to do my hours, I'm looking for my pay at the end of the day. I'm not looking for nobody's interfering in your fucking pay. So, what I'm saying is that karma, and it may not come to you the way that you're doing it. But as I said, you think you're doing some shit anonymously, but that bitch is always looking over your motherfucking shoulder. You out here going, especially as a fucking adult. We know as kids, we may think some bullshit. I don't even think about that shit. But tell me how, as an adult, you are thinking that you're going to go out here every day and try to fuck somebody else's shit up and do pieces of shit things all day, but God is going to reward you with good. You got the fucking audacity to think that God is going to reward you with good after you go out here purposely. You're an adult, which is really the part I'm having trouble understanding. You got bills to pay, I got fucking bills to pay. You got a job, I got a fucking job. You work and expect to get paid, I work and expect to get paid. How is this not calculating? I have no fucking idea. How this is not calculating with some, I have no fucking idea. And then the part that's really killing me is that your job is usually your livelihood. This is how you put food on your fucking table. This is how you take care of your fucking kids. Your job. This is your livelihood. And you play it just like that. This shit is important to you. It's your fucking livelihood. But for some reason, you don't think that applies to me, huh? I'm just there for, you know, so you go out here and you do all of this. I ain't gonna go into saying it and people are participating in it and this, that, and other. I'm not gonna go into saying it and all that shit. You know what it is. This is my job. This is what I do. Right now, this is my main source of income. Football. My main source of income. Just like you, your job, this is your livelihood. To go a step further, some people, this is their livelihood now, we're speaking of, some people will risk their livelihood for a couple dollars or maybe no dollars. If you're working for a huge company and you're hacking into their shit or fucking with their shit in any fucking way, this huge company is eventually going to find out. No matter how minuscule you think you are, this huge company don't want this shit going on in this shit. Trust me. They don't spend a fucking bunch of money on security so a motherfucker can hack into it or do whatever the fuck it is that you're not supposed to be doing. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I know you're doing it on their shit. You're using their shit to do it. Your job is usually your fucking livelihood. What kind of adult are you to risk your livelihood over a couple dollars or no fucking dollars? Does that seem like some responsible adult shit? Because it don't seem like it to me. It seems more like being peer pressure as an adult. If I don't do this, the people ain't gonna accept me. If I don't do this, people gonna think I'm a rat. If I don't steal from the company, people gonna think I'm a rat. They gonna think I'm the one that telling on everybody that's stealing. So now you peer pressure to steal because of what you think other motherfuckers gonna think. And you gonna risk your fucking job because of what other motherfuckers think. You're the head of a household some fucking where. You are the head of a household. There's people at home depending on your ass. And you worried about being peer pressured by some motherfuckers at work. Have you lost your fucking mind? You're the head of a household. There are people at home depending on you. And you worried about what some motherfuckers at work gonna think of you. As far as I know, you supposed to go to work. I mean, you socialize, but when you get to the point that you're being peer pressured to put your job on the line, you got to look at yourself as a man or woman and say, what the fuck is up with me? Where you let motherfuckers peer pressure you to do some fireable offense kind of shit. You're the head of a fucking household. There are people at home depending on you to put food on a fucking table. And you out here lollygagging and other bullshit to be part of a fucking group. Because you don't want people to think this about you or you don't want people to think that about you. You got some more important shit going on. You're the head of a fucking household. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I really don't know. I don't see how you as an adult, as a fucking adult, I don't see how you as a fucking adult. I can't understand that shit. You're a fucking adult. But anyway, if anybody want to chime in on this topic, I'm gonna put it up. First, I got to turn the joint on. I'm gonna put it up, and it's gonna be real basic and blanketed. Do you believe in karma? That's just. I mean, you can answer what you want. I hope some people are even in this one. But I hope some people feel as though they want to participate. People usually don't participate. It'd be decent if you would, but let me see if anybody's in there. Oh, for watching. Yeah, he is. I mean, if we could have a conversation or, you know what I mean, a little back and forth, I'm going to put the topic up here. I'm going to say hello to everybody. Let me turn this shit down. Wait, well, I'm still hearing that shit, though. Okay, I got it. Excuse me. I'm going to put the topic in here. Real blanketed fucking topic. It's a wild ass topic. Dude, wait, first let me say hello. Hello, everyone, and good vibes on here. Question. Do you believe in karma? Basic as basic can get. Do you believe in karma? Do you believe in karma? While we see if anybody respond, let's go into a couple of these books and see if there's any you hear anything that you might want. If you should happen to have a copy of my book, I will autograph that motherfucker for free. And like I say, if you out listen to the Positive Network at work or however you get it, or you see me riding by, wait, I'm not a fire breathing dragon. I'm really, really cool. Brilliant. I'm going to Do you believe in it? How much do you believe in that shit? I'm a heavy believer in karma. I believe in God's plan, and I believe in karma. I believe God has a plan for me. I can't say what God is doing with you. I can't say that I really give a fuck. That's between you and God. But I feel with everything has a plan for me. And I also believe in karma. Those are two things I really believe. I believe that God has a plan for me, and I believe in karma. I believe in karma like a motherfucker. All right, this is Bitches, right? By Lewis Leach III. Uh, you can get the Kindle for free if you got Amazon Prime. 99 cents if you want to buy it. Free audiobook with a membership trial. And the paperback is $9.99. The description says, what do you call a love triangle that has four people in it? A square? That's not a joke. I really don't know what you call it, but I found myself involved in one with three women I love with all my heart. You're probably saying, big deal. I've done that 2 or 3 times in my life, right? This is different. Myself, I'm Ray, by the way. Well, Raymond, but you know. Tanya, Lily, and Khadijah had this square going on for the last 30 plus years, and it's still going on to this day. Love is a strange thing. People will rob, kill, steal, cheat, and do many, many other things, all in the name of love. We did all that. Us four. We've been doing all of that for over 30 years. You know that old saying, so and so knows where all of the dead bodies are buried? Yeah, well, this is that. And it has 3 hours and 32 minutes of listening time. And this is a sample from Bitches, right? 3 hours and 32 minutes.
This title is narrated with virtual voice, computer-generated narration for audiobooks. Be Cheese Right? By Louis Leach III and Louis Leach III. This title is narrated with virtual voice. Chapter 1. Computer-generated narration for audio. Signs of the Time. Be Cheese Right?
By Louis Leach III. Okay, let me put this on. I'm put this one on.
This title is narrated with virtual.
I'm sorry. Okay, let's try it this way.
This title is narrated with virtual voice, computer-generated narration for audiobooks. Be Cheese Right? By Louis Leach III and Louis Leach III. Chapter 1. Signs of the Times. Tanya. 1984 will always be a special year to me. 1984 was the very last year that was considered BC in my neighborhood. Those two letters do not stand for before Christ. This ain't a gospel book, fam. Where I'm from, BC stands for before crack. Believe it or not, crack was not always a thing that was around in the hood. That shit seemed to appear out of the clear blue one day. And the shit spread quicker than coronavirus. Crack users weren't the only thing created when crack cocaine hit the scene. Crack dealers were also created. Don't get it twisted. There were always people in the neighborhood who sold heroin, weed, and other shit. The difference between that and crack was respect. Crack cocaine brought with it an I don't give a fuck attitude about everything. I watched that shit slowly transform people, always for the worst. I became one of those I don't give a fuck people at 13 years old. And I know for a fact, crack changed.
I'm sorry. But let me say this. When I say it waved to me, I wasn't talking about people in general. I was talking about the particular people who are already riding around and trying to take pictures of me for this other thing that they do. I'm talking to them. They know who they are and they know what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to big up myself and say that I'm famous. I'm not talking to most people. I'm talking to them people. Why they're out there doing, what it is that they're doing. That's what I'm talking to. I wasn't on no trying to be no big shot concept. I apologize if it came off that way. But I'm talking to a certain people. Wave, I see.
Changed my life for the worst. But, like I said before, crack affected practically everyone in the neighborhood's life in a negative way, especially Tanya's. Tanya's favorite aunt Loretta messed around and became one of the early victims of the crack epidemic. Tanya always thought she didn't have family nearby. After about a month and some change on 7th Street, Tanya slowly began to realize that her family was one of the biggest in the neighborhood. Sis had family everywhere, even on 9th Street. Tanya lived with her dad until she was about 10 years old. Mom was absent in the early days of Tanya's life, for one reason or another. Loretta turned 16 right around the time Tanya turned 12. Retta was Tanya's mother's youngest sister, and word around the hood was that Retta had been a wild one since she was Tanya's age. Retta was 16 years old, but she hung out heavy with people in their early 20s. The kind of people who were not so distant from high school age, but had already given up on life. They mostly partied and got high. People had jobs, though. Getting high was mostly a weekend thing for most people, you know? Then came crack. People in their 20s dived in head first, including Loretta. She went downhill quickly. I'm talking about Loretta looked like Beyonce last week. The next week was a different story. Three short weeks after taking her first blast, Loretta was turning tricks for money. Well, crack. All bets are off at that point. There's no more such thing as embarrassment, respect for oneself, or respect for others. At this point, everything is about crack. Even stealing from your favorite niece. Not just stealing, but robbing her blind. Tanya's mom made the mistake of asking her youngest sister to watch Tanya while she went out of town for the weekend. Retta sent Tanya to the store to buy them some groceries with some of the money Tanya's mom left for food and other things while she was gone. Tanya's mom had been gone for less than 10 minutes when Loretta put her plan into action. By the time Tanya got back from the store, Retta had cleaned them out. She had one of her crackhead friends bring a truck around to the house. If you don't know, let me be the first to tell you. With the correct motivation, crack, a crackhead can make fucking worlds move in minutes. That's just what happened. Tanya and her mom's world was cleaned out and gone in a matter of minutes. I can still remember Tanya showing up at her cousin's house on 9th Street with tears in her eyes. Tanya stayed with her cousins for the weekend. I remember Tanya trying to tell me about what was going on. Can't say I was listening or really cared, but I heard her. With Tanya staying only a few houses from mine, the only thing I could think about was opportunity. I was so busy trying to get my grind on every time I was anywhere near Tanya that I showed no emotion, sympathy, or even empathy for her or her current situation. I was not good boyfriend material at all. Tanya ended up moving in with her cousins after her, and her mom had a huge fight about Retta. Tanya's mom.
That was Bitches, right, by Louis Lees III. It has 3 hours and 32 minutes of listening time, and you can get it paperback, audio, and Kindle. Well, I have no comments in the John yet, so. But the question is still, do you believe in karma? And I said, I do. I really do. I also believe in God's plan. I really do. And positivity is starting to be something that I'm really starting to come around to believing and carrying it positive, because I've been carrying positive vibes even when negative shit has been happening, and it has only been about, it hasn't been long. It hasn't been long. It maybe 4 or 5 days at the most, and I've been carrying a positive attitude with me. I wake up with a positive attitude and try to carry it with me throughout the day. It is times that, you know, we human. You know what I'm saying? We're human. But, I still try to carry the positive, the positivity with me, because Just like bad vibes is contagious, positive vibes is contagious too. You greet somebody with a smile, they probably gonna greet you back with a smile. So I've been trying to carry this project, and it's been about 5 days, but I feel different. I feel different. And I wasn't on no angry shit before I, started the turn positive. I wasn't on no angry shit or nothing like that, but it's a different feeling when you facing everything with positivity. It's a different feeling. Some things that would they don't bother you no more. I mean, things bother you. We human, like I said, but things bother you. But now they don't really sit on you. You know how you could get into a little argument with somebody, like at 10 o'clock this morning. By the time you get home from work to your loved one, 6 o'clock in the fucking evening, that shit might still be on you when you get to the house. That shit irritated you that much, it's still fucking on you. You've been carrying that bullshit around all day, and when you look back and think about it, it probably wasn't even that big of a fucking deal. But for me, facing things with positivity, things that used to sit on me are not sitting on me at all. It's on to the motherfucking next thing. This is that, and that is that. When it comes to some positive shit, there's usually this is that, and that is over, and moving on. Moving on. If you think you're gonna fight negativity with negativity, you wrong. You wrong. Because if you fight negativity, they want negativity in return. You can't. You wrong. You're not gonna fight negativity with negativity. And I'm not saying that I'm trying to fight anyone or anything. I'm just saying I'm carrying positivity with me, and I am guarding my shit. I'm guarding my positivity because there are those who want to motherfuckers. A motherfucker may not. Okay, a motherfucker ain't even at the point where they just don't want to see you happy. They just want to see you sad or mad or content will even drive them crazy. You being content, fuck happy. You being content will even drive them crazy. They want you mad or sad. As I said, they want to keep your mind in a constant state of aggravation. Why? That's not for you to worry about. That's an issue for the bitch we were talking about earlier. That's an issue for the bitch we were talking about earlier. And that's why I say I believe in karma. I believe in God's plan for me. And I believe in karma. And I'm going to get into another book or whatever. But I would like to know what y'all think, if you could leave it in the comment section. Hmm. But I'm a big, big, big believer of karma. Big. And people say they know everything about me. People say they know everything about me. Anything that they don't know will be fake, or he's lying, he's faking, he's not really like that, simply because they don't know it. So instead of saying they didn't know that about you, they say, "Oh, he lying, he faking, I know everything about the mother." You know everything about somebody, and that makes sense to you. Okay. This is Family is Forever by Kareem Abdul Rahman. The Kindle is free if you got Amazon Prime, 99 cents to buy if you don't. The audiobook is free with a trial subscription, Audible. The paperback is $11.99. This is the description. Family is Forever is a story about the Harris family and the seemingly never-ending cycle of poverty, drug use, and teenage pregnancy, which has plagued the family for generations. To most people who knew them, it was a foregone conclusion that Harry Harris would go to prison, have a baby as a teen, or live in poverty and collect welfare and food stamps all of their lives. Most of the family seemed to accept the fact that this was how their life was going to be. Will any Harris ever break the cycle of negativity and stereotyping that the family seems to be cursed with? Listening time is 3 hours and 32 minutes. This is a small sample from the book.
title is narrated with virtual voice, computer-generated narration for audiobooks. Family is Forever by Kareem Abdul-Rahman. Mama and Daddy, Philadelphia winters have always been known to be somewhat brutal, especially once the snow started hitting the ground. The last batch of storms had brought with it over 3.5 feet of snow in the last few days, most of which was still unshoveled and on the ground of the sidewalks in the inner city. Most of the snow had fallen over the weekend, and by Sunday night had stopped. It gave the city snow cleanup crews an opportunity to clear out the snow in certain areas, but of course none of those areas were in the hood. While the streets of Center City and the suburbs were cleared, the inner city streets still looked as if it was hit heavy by the snowstorm. By Monday morning, the school officials came to the conclusion that the streets were clear enough for the kids to go back to school. Jerome Harris trudged through the heavy snow and cussed with every step that he took. The mountains of snow that he had to walk through was ridiculous. He couldn't believe that his mom would send him outside in this shit. What the hell was she thinking? He was not equipped to be outside in this kind of weather. The old coat he wore that he had for the last 3 years did nothing to keep him warm on this 5-degree below zero morning. It was freezing cold and the wind was hawking. His old-ass coat may as well have been a t-shirt. It felt exactly the same. Jerome's pants were just as bad as his coat. He had holes damn near everywhere in his jeans, and they weren't that way for the sake of fashion or style. They were like that because he had them for at least 3 years, and they were hand-me-downs when he got them.
This, by the way, this book took place in 1975.
That he stole from some fool that decided to wear his good sneakers to the swimming pool in the summer that had just passed. Low-top Converse were not built for this weather, and snow flowed into the shoes like water every time Jerome took a step. His dirty socks were becoming soaking wet, which was making Jerome even more uncomfortable. He had no hat or gloves. Those type of luxuries were unimaginable to him and his family. As he walked and thought about the things that he did not have, he wondered more and more if his mom even cared about him and his little sister. She probably cared about his sister a little bit more than him because her school was right around the corner from their house. But how could she find it in her heart to send him to school in this weather? Their house was on 13th and York Streets in North Philadelphia, and Jerome's high school was located at 8th and Lehigh Avenue. It was not a great distance to walk on a regular day, but in this damn near knee-high snow, this was going to be a very long hike. The snow wasn't even the worst part about his hike to school. It was the gangs. In 1975, the streets of Philadelphia were filled with small gangs from almost every street corner in the city. If you were just a nobody from no gang walking through another gang's territory, you would probably just get jumped and beat up. That was no big deal, but if you happened to be a known member of another gang like Jerome was, you were probably going to get sent to the hospital or killed for walking through someone's turf. If you walked through someone else's turf, you were looking for some trouble. There was no exception to this rule. A normal person could have just walked straight up 13th Street, then turned when they got to Lehigh Avenue, and then simply walked down to 8th Street. Jerome couldn't do that. He would have to take the long way to school to try to avoid walking through anyone's turf. If he had just one of his gang members with him, they would walk anywhere they wanted and fight whoever stood in their way. None of Jerome's gang members went to his high school, though. Jerome's gang was from 10th and Oxford Streets, and they all went to their neighborhood high schools, William Penn or either Ben Franklin. Jerome would have went there too if it had not been for his mom moving them to York Street. He was alone all the way over here. Jerome knew that the only reason that his mom had even moved them over here was to be with her latest love interest, Mr. Mike. Jerome hated Mr. Mike, and he was pretty sure that Mr. Mike hated him too. Jerome's mom was 28 years old, and Mr. Mike was about 65. Jerome could see no reason other than sex that a man that old would want to be with a woman so young. In Jerome's eyes, Mr. Mike was a con artist who was getting over on his mother. If it was one thing that Jerome hated, it was someone trying to get over on his mother. Before his father died 5 years ago from a liver disease, he made Jerome promise to look after and care for his mother. Jerome admired his father, even though he was a known alcoholic who was usually a drunken mess whenever Jerome saw him. But that was still his dad, and Jerome was starting to feel like he was letting his father down by allowing his mother to be with an old-ass, perverted scumbag like Mr. Mike. Before Jerome's mom met Mr. Mike, she never smoked or drank or anything.
That was from Family is Forever by Kareem Abdul Rahman. And it Audible is 3 hours and 32 minutes worth of listening time. Excuse me. Apologize. And the subject of the day is still, uh, do you believe in karma? I believe in karma. I believe in karma. I definitely believe in karma. Definitely believe it. Because I don't think the world could spin if some just got to do all evil and never had to pay for it. Like I say, people don't always pay for it the way that they put it out. Don't always come back the way that you put it out. But I believe that shit does come back. And I believe the same about positive. If karma is a thing, it's not only going to work one way, I believe. I believe that karma ain't just gonna work against people so it can hit them with some bad shit. I believe karma works both ways. If you put good energy out there, you will receive the same. And I believe in that. I believe that. And that's what I'm out there doing, trying to do every fucking day. And I'm saying this ain't been my life. Like I can say, yeah, this has been my life. No, it's been about 5 fucking days. So you know what I mean? I don't know how long this shit is gonna last. But I'm just saying I do feel a difference. I feel a difference when I wake up in the morning. I'm not thinking about how bad the day gonna be. I'm thinking about how good the day gonna be. Thanking God I'm up because, like I say, I found my father deceased. He told me he was going in there to lay down for a little bit after he came from shopping, and he was like that, like it looked like he was asleep. You know, I found him like that. It looked like he was asleep. It looked like he was asleep, but he never woke up. So I'm definitely not taking that for granted. That's another thing I'm thankful for. And the third thing I'm thankful for is that it's another day, another chance for me to become a millionaire. I'm on the live. Anyway, why not just turn on YouTube? Anyway, the I believe if the karma gonna go one way, I believe it goes the other way. I believe so. Why would it just go one way? It would do 360. It would go all the way around. Like if you do good things are probably gonna come back to you. Maybe they won't come back to you. As like sometimes we say, damn, God wants to give me some money or something like that, and you know it might not be what you was expecting, but you did get some unexpected money from someone. It may not have been what you was expecting, but I believe that the karma it comes around, it goes around it in both ways. I believe it in both ways. In both ways, I believe. And like I say, it's only been about 5 days for me with the positive kick, but I am liking the results that I'm seeing because, like I said, certain things ain't gonna sit on me. Certain things ain't gonna. It ain't worth sitting on. Certain things ain't gonna sit on. They just not. Certain things ain't gonna sit on. And I'm guarding my positivity like a motherfucker because there's driving home from work can take your shit away from you. You know, I'm not. No, no, I'm just trying to stay positive. This is the Philly Commission. There's 3 parts to it. I'm gonna do all 3 parts. Um, part 1 is kind of messed up because most of the time this sample is mostly just the table of contents. Doesn't I don't know how I did that, but the Kindle is free if you have Amazon Prime. It's $2.99 if you want to buy it. The Audible book is free if you have a membership. The paperback is $9.99, and yeah, the paperback is $9.99. Okay, so this is a sample from the book. Local police labeled them a threat to the safety of the city. The feds labeled them a continuing criminal enterprise. People in the street who weren't connected labeled them a group of violent homies or a gang. They were all of the above and much more. They were the Philly Commission and they had their hands in damn near every bit of money, legal and illegal, that came through the city of Philadelphia since 1986. The Philly Commission was created by Brian Byrd Kennedy in 1985. He was only 13 years old when he formed the commission. It was originally created to be just another drug gang, but Byrd saw the potential to make much more money by doing more than simply selling drugs. There was plenty more money running around in the streets, and he wanted his share of all of it. His plan was to control all of the city, legal and illegal, and stay out of prison while doing it. And it has 5 hours and 8 minutes of listening time. And this is a sample.
This title is narrated with virtual voice. Computer-generated narration for audiobooks. The Philly Commission by Kareem Abdul-Rahman. York-bound Publications
Like I said,
presents
most of the drawing
Publications.
is
Chapter
yeah,
Chapter 9. Dots.
let me see something.
Chapter 17. Jealous Ones Envy. Chapter 1. Humble Beginnings. Jan, 1985. Who wants to come to the blackboard and solve the first equation? Miss Powell asked as she scanned the classroom for volunteers.
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do?
Most of this.
I like this drawing. I'm gonna, okay. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get the audio drawing, and I'm gonna let you listen to a couple chapters of it. I'm gonna buy the audio drawing, and I'm gonna let you listen to a couple chapters of it, or at least one chapter. Because I like this drawing. I think you will too. Nah, which one of my cards? Oh, sorry. Do I have enough money? Let me let you see. Excuse me for a sec. As a matter of fact, this joint, I'm gonna pause this joint for a quick second. I'm gonna pause this joint for 1 second. I need to use this phone if I can. Can you pause it? I don't know if I can pause it. I ain't gonna fuck with it. I'm gonna just leave it. Cause I don't know if I can pause it or not. So, but I just leave it. Yeah, I'm gonna use this one. I don't have my phone, so I can't let me see if I got anything on. I look like this. Can't get into this phone. I probably have to use that phone. All right, I'm gonna have to stop it and then I'm gonna come back and start it. But I'm gonna let y'all listen to the book. I'm gonna let y'all listen. I might just play the whole genre if you feel like waiting that on. Like I said, it's like 5 hours long. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stop this joint and then I'm gonna come right back. I'm gonna come right back.